Hey everybody, how's it going? In today's video, we'll take a look at an exclusive series featuring Koenigsegg Jesko. Currently, this car is offered at a 50% discount, both on the car itself and the upgrades. So obviously, if you already own the car, it's a good opportunity to put those upgrades on. And if you can afford it, max it out to unlock this exclusive series. The exclusive series, the total reward is 120 gold. So, yeah, as usual, these very expensive cars, the return rate is pretty dismal since fully upgrading this car under normal circumstances will cost you some 1575 gold, and that's only the upgrades. Of course, the cost of the car itself is 1100 gold. So with 50% off, that's down to about 550 gold. Plus, instead of 1575 gold, I suppose you spend something just under 800 gold. So even with 50% discount, you're spending upwards of about 1300 gold to access this exclusive series. But if you max it out, not only do you get access to the exclusive series, you also have ability to, assuming that you own the other two cars featured in the bonus series, the winner takes it all. You can win additional 79 gold. But even if you don't own the other two cars featured in this bonus series, Agera R and Agera RS, namely, you should still be able to complete 75% completion, which means you will still win some, I want to say 76 gold or something. I mean, 46 gold, my bad. So, and of course, there is also the flashback of the special event, All or Nothing. This car was originally featured in, that's still available in the round 8 of season 2. So there's some gold to be won there as well. Plus the victory points, which will yield additional gold from the, the round hub rewards, right? So that is sort of a rundown of the cost and I guess rewards. So as I said, currently you get, if you don't own the car, to access this, you're going to have to shell out some 1300 gold, but there's some potential to win back, let's say close to 200 gold back. If you are watching this video while the car is not featured in the 50% discount, then yeah, price is a bit steep. But anyway, enough with the cost analysis. Let's hop in and check out the series itself. Here we go. Koenigsegg Jesko, the perfect combination of raw power and absolute elegance. A mega car worthy of bearing the name Jesko. All right. So this is one of the fastest cars in the game, of course. With the, let's see, what's the top speed on this guy? Top speed is, when it's maxed out, 526 kph, or 327 miles per hour if you're using imperial units, with the acceleration time of 2.15 seconds. Grip 1.89 G, so normally that would be considered a very high, well, okay, good amount of grip. But when your car's traveling, barreling down at max speed of 526 kph, 1.89 G ain't gonna be enough to save your life. It's gonna go straight down. So you gotta keep that in mind when you're racing this car. Make sure you brake early, because it's gonna take a while to slow down enough to make any reasonable corners in any track. So, with that being said, that's sort of the handling of this car. What I think, my impression, especially after running a couple of runs at Monza for this week's weekly time trial, which also this week this car's featured as the sort of the top dog. So if you want to get a decent rank in this week's weekly time trial, that's another one. There's more earnings potential there. So you could possibly win back up to additional 300 gold there. Now, if you can rank 0.1, top 0.1 rank A for 300 gold rewards, then yeah, that's a big boost, because all of a sudden now your reward potential has doubled up to like closer to more like 500 plus gold. So at that point, perhaps shelling out 1300 gold doesn't seem as bad, because now you're down to net cost is closer to like 700-800 gold. You know what I mean? Even though that is still pretty. That's not cheap, but it's cheaper, right? So anyway, here is the breakdown of the total 120 gold rewards available in this series. So first 25%, and now this is a 20 tier bonus series or exclusive series you can see here with the 3 time trials. So there are a total of 54 events total, 51 trophy events, and 3 time trials. So for completing 25, in order to complete 25% to get that 10 gold and some 40,000 racing dollars earned, you are going to have to complete 14 events, right? And yeah, I'll go through the event type breakdown after I go over the rewards breakdown, right? So 14 events. You need to complete 14 events. That could be 11 trophies and 3 time trials completed, or any combination thereof, right? So that is the 25% completion, and for additional 20 gold and 80,000 racing dollars, that is of course 50% completion reward. You're gonna have to complete 27 events total, and for additional 40 gold and 120,000 racing dollar bonus, you're gonna have to that's a 75% completion reward that requires you to complete 42 events total, right? And for, of course, the remainder, you have to complete all 54 events. That will get you the remaining 50 gold. So the 75% and 100% gap is not as wide as some other series. But that's how this series rewards are broken down. Now, 3 time trials. Where are they taking place? The tier 5, the first instance, you find it. It's going to be at Bathurst Mount Panorama Circuit. And that's a good circuit to kind of test out. Actually, both of these circuits are, aren't they? Tier 10, the second instance time trial, takes place at Spa. So both are very decent length, pretty fast circuit. So that you'll have to remind yourself to brake early, because there's some long straights in those circuits. And of course, the tier 15, the third final time trial venue, is going to be Daytona Motorcycle Course. So that's going to be a tricky circuit, at least for me, because I always struggle at Daytona, both road course and motorcycle course. It's just very flat, right? And it's difficult to figure out your braking points, because there's really not much landmarks to kind of gauge that by. There's hardly any distance markers there. So, little tricky circuit. Cars seem more slippery at Daytona than other places. Maybe it's the Florida humidity. I don't know. Anyway, so those are the 3 time trials. And of course, remaining 17 tiers all have a cup race of varying distance. Usually, earlier tiers have shorter run cup races, so shorter, a smaller number of laps. And towards the second half, it starts to get like 5 laps, 10 laps, right? Depending on the circuit, but generally they're going to be mostly Grand Prix circuits. Anyway, let's go through alphabetic order of the event types. So we'll start with autocross. There are 4 autocrosses in this series. First one, you find it in Tier 3, taking place at the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. Second instance, you find it in Tier 8, this one at Red Bull Ring National Circuit. And then the third instance, you find it in Tier 13 at Spa. And then the fourth and final instance of the autocross is in Tier 19 at Melbourne. All right, and another short form race, drag race. There are also 4 of those. First one at Tier 3. This one taking place at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. And then second instance, you find it in Tier 9, Nürburgring Grand Prix Circuit. And then the third instance, you find it in Tier 14 at Suzuka Grand Prix. And then finally, Tier 18 has the fourth and final instance of drag race. As usual, if you ask me, that's 4 more than I care to see. But oh well, it is what it is. All right, so fourth one taking place at the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. All right, and on to elimination. There are 4 eliminations also. The first one, you find it in Tier 4, taking place at Circuit of the Americas Club Circuit. And then second instance, you find it in Tier 11, taking place at Melbourne. And then third instance, you find it in Tier 16, taking place at Mazda Raceway. I still call it Mazda Raceway, but it's WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I know, old habits. So that's the third instance and final instance of elimination. You find it in Tier 20, taking place at Mount Panorama. All right, so those are the 4 eliminations available in this series. And up next, we got endurance, which there are 4 instances as well. A lot of 4 instances of event types, right? Almost all of them, by the way. Just to give you a heads up. So endurance. First one, you find it in Tier 2, taking place at Catalunya National. And then second instance, you find it in Tier 7, this one taking place at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit. And then the third instance, you find it in Tier 12, taking place at Monza Road Course. And the final instance of endurance, you find it in Tier 17, taking place at Porsche Test Track Dynamics Circuit. All right. Then we get an event type that we have more than 4. Head-to-head, there are 6 of them in total, which is kind of unusual to have so many head-to-head, but they're at least easy events to complete and win. So, of course, the series itself kicks off with the event head-to-head. Tier 1 at Hockenheim Grand Prix. And then second instance, you find it in Tier 6, this one at Bugatti Circuit. And then third instance, you find it in Tier 9 at Suzuka East. So pretty short circuit. And then the fourth instance of head-to-head, you find it in Tier 14 at Nürburgring Sprint Circuit. And then the next 5th instance of head-to-head, right on the other side of the time trial, Tier 16. This one taking place at Hockenheim Short night race. And then the final instance, the 6th instance of head-to-head, you find it in Tier 19, taking place at Le Mans 24-hour circuit. All right, and then next we got Hunter. We're back to 4. There are 4 Hunters. So tier 1, you find Hunter at Mount Panorama. And then next instance, tier 6 at Silverstone the Bridge Grand Prix layout. And then the third instance, you find it in tier 11, taking place at Catalunya Grand Prix circuit. And then the final instance of Hunter, tier 17, at Suzuka Grand Prix. All right, and another full lap race type, speed record. Yes, there are 4 of those. First instance, you find it in tier 4, taking place at Hockenheim Short. And second instance, you find it in tier 8 at Silverstone Grand Prix. And then third instance of speed record is in tier 12 at Daytona Motorcycle Course. And then final, fourth instance of speed record, find it in the final tier, tier 20, taking place at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. All right, and back to very short event type, Speed Snap. There are 4 of those. I like seeing more Speed Snaps and Autocrosses just simply because those are quick and easy events to, bring up the percentage, right? The completion percentage. So, but anyway, we only have 4 Speed Snaps. First one, you find it in tier 2 at Suzuka Grand Prix. And second instance, you find it in tier 7, taking place at Dubai International Circuit. And the third instance in tier 13, taking place at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit. And the fourth and last Speed Snap takes place in Red Bull Ring National Circuit. You'll find it in tier 18. All right, so those are the variety race types, the event types in this series. So for that first 25% completion, right, you need to complete 14 events. So if you complete Speed Snap, Autocross, and that's up to 8, you get drag races done. That's another 4, so that brings you up to 12 event complete. Then if you do 2 time trials, then you're up to 25% completion. So yeah, that's a pretty quick, without having to service your car, you can get there relatively quickly. So that's kind of nice, even though reward is just mere 10 gold. But hey, more importantly, you're 25% through the series. So that's not bad. And then after that, the race that you have to run to complete the rest of the event series, gets at least a full lap events, right? So you just have to work your way through. So speaking of having to work your way through the series, let's run through the cup in each tier where it's available, starting from tier 1. Tier 1 cup is at Daytona Road Course, and it's gonna be 3 laps. And yeah, look at that, 100.2 PR is the max PR. And tier 2, Silverstone Grand Prix Cup, 3 laps. All right, that's decent. And tier 3, we're gonna be at Leipzig Circuit, Porsche Test Track, long on-road circuit, 4 laps. Even though it's 4 laps, I think it might be still shorter than 3 laps around Silverstone, I think. And tier 4, we got Cup at Nürburgring Grand Prix. So that's one of the longest Grand Prix circuits available in the game. And that's going to be a 3-lap cup. And tier 6, we find Monza Road Course. It's going to be 4 laps. So as I said, lap count is increasing and the race is getting a bit longer, higher payout. Tier 7 at Melbourne, and 5 laps, so that's actually much shorter race because Melbourne is pretty tiny. And next, Tier 8, we got Hockenheim Grand Prix, also not the longest Grand Prix circuit. We get 5 laps, so that one, at least lap count is gonna account for something there. And then Tier 9 at Dubai Grand Prix. Yep, not as long either. Another 5 lap cup. I wonder which one's longer, Dubai or Hockenheim. I want to say Dubai is longer, but those two I think are fairly close in distance. Anyway, Tier 11. The cup you find here is at Mount Panorama, 5 laps. Now that is a longer circuit for sure. So that's the longest race so far. And then Tier 12, we got the Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix 6 lap cup. So that is also a pretty lengthy one. Not as long as Mount Panorama, but we have extra lap there, so perhaps it's comparable. And Tier 13, we got Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course 7 lap cup. So Indianapolis road course, kind of medium length, I would say. And then Tier 14, we got Catalunya Grand Prix, short circuit there. At least I always think it's a little bit shorter. The 6 lap cup, but we got the high lap count as you can see. And Tier 16, we got Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix circuit. That's a decent length, and lap count is actually pretty decent as well, 6 laps. So that one will pay out pretty well. And of course, Tier 17, we got the longest circuit race, Le Mans 24-hour circuit. It's a night race as well, 4 laps. So I think that one definitely has the highest payout at this point. And then Tier 18, Cup at Spa. Let's see, how many laps do we got here? 6 laps. So that one's pretty decent, but I think Le Mans 4 laps still longer than 6 laps at Spa, I think. Because Le Mans 24-hour is just significantly longer than the rest of the circuits available in the game. You know what I mean? Alright, Tier 19, we got the Laguna Seca Cup. And 8 laps, medium length, medium short length circuit, right? So higher lap count is warranted there. And then final cup, the Tier 20, takes place at Suzuka Grand Prix. That's one of the longer Grand Prix circuits. And how many laps do we have? 6 or 7? 7 laps. So that one perhaps might be longer than 4 laps around Le Mans, possibly. I don't know. No, I'm gonna say Le Mans 24-hour circuit, 4 laps still longer than 7 laps around Suzuka. That's my guess, but I might be completely wrong on that one. Possibly. Is it? I mean, I'm assuming Le Mans 24-hour circuit is it's long, more than twice the length of Suzuka Grand Prix. I think it is. I mean, those Mulsanne straights, they are long straights, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm gonna stand by my word. Alright, so those are the events that you can expect to see in the series, and of course, the bonus series. The winner takes it all. There it is. I have so far completed 11%. I know, pretty dismal. That's okay. Not in a rush once you win the car, you know what I mean? So anyway, that'll do it for this overview video of the exclusive series. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.